All right, well, this news about the Panthers is not good news for the Texans. I said it when the news broke. I said, "Oh, this is bad news for the Texans." The Panthers trading up to the number one overall pick, trading a 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and DJ Moore, the wide receiver, to the Bears in exchange for that number one overall pick. Here is what Danny Kelly is tweeting out. Danny Kelly is a senior staff writer for The Ringer, and he works on their NFL draft show. He tweeted out 10 minutes ago, Panthers beat reporting Carolina likes multiple quarterbacks and could even trade back if they get interest. What? So basically, this is a message to the Texans, like, hey, Texans, yes, we like multiple quarterbacks. Like, I think I hypothesize the Texans might like multiple quarterbacks too, and don't care who they take with the number one overall pick because they're going to have one of the quarterbacks that they covet at number 2. But if the Panthers are saying that they like both quarterbacks too, that means they're enticing either the Texans or some other team who has fallen in love with one of those quarterbacks to trade it all, or at least trade a ton of draft capital to give them their capital back that they gave to the Bears for the number one overall pick. Wow. So Texans, I told you screwed it up. You should have just traded for the number one overall pick. Or better yet, you should never be in this position. So you should have lost the last game to the Colts, and then you would have had the number one overall pick. But since you didn't do that, you should have traded up for the number one overall pick. But now you are at the mercy of whoever decides to trade up for that pick. Right now, it's the Carolina Panthers. It could be another team.
It could be the Colts.
It could be the Colts.
It could be the Colts. They could move back to 4, and they could still, if he's a Will Levis guy.
You're right.
And if he, because he was a Carson Wentz guy, so if he's a Will Levis guy, then he could still get Will Levis at 4.
Wow.
And they take whoever you want, Bryce Young or C.J. Stroud at 1. I mean, you're not out of it at 2, but this again,
you don't control your own fate,
if the Texans don't make a move, it seems to me that they are going to go defense, that they have already set their mind in one way, that they're not playing this game. They don't want to give up draft capital for these quarterbacks, which I can understand. You saying, like, I like Bryce Young a lot, but I understand the flip side of he may not be what you may not be able to think he may not be able to play the long term. We just talked about San Francisco's injury problems. If they want to play that style, they may say, Bryce Young may not be the guy for us because he is a smaller guy. And I know you never want your quarterback taking that many hits, but they may be more worried about that in the injury side with Bryce Young. If that's what you're saying, I get moving off a year on it, but all you had to do was lose that game.
All you had to do was lose that game. You pulled the Houston Texans. You did what you did because you're a dysfunctional fuster cluck of a franchise.
They did like the Oilers, which is they came from behind to lose. They came from ahead to lose, which is they had the number 1 pick and lost it. By the way, did you see that Titans are going to wear Oilers jerseys?
Yes.
Does that make you as mad as it makes me?
No, I'm not as upset about it.
Because you know why? It's because it's Bud Adams. It's his family still. And I'm like, you don't deserve. You move the team. You don't deserve this.
I know they still on the right side of the Oilers. Like what upsets me is the records. They own the Oilers records, like the Titans/Oilers records.
Yeah,
They're not Houston records.
I don't like it one
so
bit.
Earl Campbell's rushing records, that's all Titan stuff. No, I don't like that.
I don't like it.
So yeah, I'm with you.
Like at least the Ravens were classy when they left Baltimore in the middle of the night, or left Cleveland in the middle of the night. That they're still a Browns. They let them have it back.
Yeah, the Titans. I'm with you. I don't like it.
I don't like it one bit.
And they're not even wearing. I hope they wear the cool uniforms at least.
You know what they need to wear? The Tennessee Oilers uniforms, because that's the only team that played in Tennessee is Oilers. Don't wear a Houston uniform.
Yeah, you're right. They could do Tennessee. You're right. They could do that Tennessee Oilers thing. But yeah, I don't listen. I don't like this at all. I just don't like it because the Texans. They are now they don't control their own fate, and they're allowing for other variables now, more and more variables, multiple variables to control what happens in the draft. But more and more, I'm starting to believe, Patrick, you may be on to something that maybe they're not even going quarterback in the draft. Because if I'm going quarterback in the draft and I have the draft capital the Texans do, as much draft capital, if not more, than damn near any team in this draft, I'm going up to go get my quarterback. Oh, over the next 2 drafts, I should say. I'll go give to my quarterback because I know over the next 2 drafts you have 4 first-round picks.
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly, if you're going to think Jimmy G, I think the only other team that you really have to compete with would be the Raiders. I think that's the only other team you're competing with because everyone else is going to be waiting for the draft or they're going to be waiting for, or they're going to basically be looking for somebody else. I don't think there's another team that would be their first option. Or you know what? Just go balls to the wall. Go trade for Lamar and go sign Lamar Jackson to a guaranteed deal. Have fun that way.
They're not trading for Lamar Jackson.
I know.
It ain't even. Listen, they won't even trade up for the number 1 overall pick. They're never not trading for Lamar Jackson.
No.
They don't really have any. There's no riverboat gambler in these Houston Texans.
No.
So they're gonna stay. I can't believe they're just gonna stay at number 2 and let the chips fall where they may. That's the attitude. Let the chips fall where they may. We're at number 2. It's not like I believe the Texans are savvy enough to know or be able to predict what's going to happen. They don't have that type of savvy leadership over there. They don't. And I like Nick Caserio. But to say that they know exactly what's going to happen, nobody does. They are going out on blind faith that they'll get their guy or a guy they like at the number 2 pick. And they may very well get that. But it just shows you the mentality of the organization overall. This is a very passive, I don't know. It's a very passive and very casual attitude about securing your future.
Yeah. I'm not thrilled with it.
Right?
I'm not even a Texans fan anymore, and I'm still not thrilled with it.
Exactly.
It seems like you don't know what you're doing. And maybe you do. And maybe you're Kaiser Sose-ing everything. But I got to see it to believe it, man.
Great reference there. We're going to end it on the nice reference there. If you don't know the Kaiser Sose reference, then you got to Google it.